Darstellung der Buchdruck 1. The Anatomy of Type. Starring Frex, JT, and introducing Skipper.
Hey, JT.
Oh, hi, Frex.
What are you up to?
Nothing. Just trying to memorize this here Anatomy of Typography.
Say, I can help you with that.
Really? That would be swell.
And Skipper can help.
Oh,
Skipper.
The 5 lines.
First, we start out with 5 lines from which every letter form of every font of every family is derived. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first line we start making letters with is called the base line. I like to think of baseball and the starting line. Next, we have the mean line, which is right in the center of everything. So I like to think that maybe somebody is mean because they're angry, because they're in the middle, and they're just average. You know what I mean. Then we have the cap line, which is the highest point of any capital. A lot happier now, isn't he? Next, we have the beard line, which is the lowest point of any letter form. It's also known as the descender line. Makes me think of Elvis. Return to sender, no such zone, address unknown.
Yeah, Frex, that was a really good imitation.
Oh, thank you. And finally, we have the highest point of any letter form, which only the ascenders of lowercase letters reaches to. It's known as the ascender line. Between the base line and the mean line, we have an area called the X height, which measures half of the capital or the lower part of a lowercase letter. I like to think of a certain diminutive mutant related to the letter X when I think of the X height.
Hey, Bob, snicked. Anatomy.
The basic horizontal line, which is a building block of any letter, is called the stem. The part of any letter that goes across the top, like in this T, is called an arm. The line that goes between a letter connecting both its strokes is known as a crossbar.
Check it out, Frex. I'm working out on the crossbar.
Yeah, you do that, JT. The hole that goes to the middle of the E is known as the I. Any rounded open space in letter form is known as a bowl. The thinnest part of the stroke of any letter form is known as the hairline. A straight diagonal line is known as a leg.
A curved diagonal line is known as the tail. Skipper, what are you doing?
The part where a letter's stroke moves from thick to thin is known as the shoulder.
There's even an area only on the S known as the spine.
The lowercase g is a unique letter in that it has both an ear and a beard. And if you get a pickaxe and a hat, you can go prospect for gold. The lowercase g also has a unique connector between its counters known as the link.
Sausage.
The endpoints of any letters are known as the terminals. I like to think that if a letter went on forever, they'd have to send a terminal back from the future to terminate the ends. The highest point of any letter is known as the apex. I like to think of the king of the apes at the highest point of New York City. Some typeface families have a little ornamentation or foot at the end of the terminals, known as the serif. Some, well, they don't.
I'm the sheriff of this here town, and you're a stranger. I'm gonna kick you out of town here by using my spur. Oh, no, you don't. There's a new serif in town. The sans serif. Sans serif! Families.
Back before type was invented, we used to make every letter by hand using a brush and ink. When the first typefaces came about, we tried to imitate hand lettering by making the lines that form the letters, known as their strokes, vary in thickness. We also have that little slant you make when you do handwriting, which we call the stress. Families are recognizable by characteristics such as their stress, stroke, or, just like in the case of people, their weight, which is their overall thickness or thinness. The most severe slant we see reminds us of the posture of, say, your dear old grandpappy, which is why we call the original typefaces old style.
You're darn skippy.
As time ticked by and more letters had to be fit on a page, their stresses became straighter. Somewhere between a severe slant and no slant at all, we have that transitional style of type. I like to think of it as an evolution. We start out with the old style, move up to the transitional, and end up right as the modern family of type design takes over. One other way to discern a modern letterform is to think of this here mod, who's so happy because of his latest record purchase. Yeah. If we look at the medium strokes, they move from thick, like these here shoulder pads, to thin, like this here stylish skinny tie. You like? The Egyptian or slab serif family has squared off slab-like serifs as terminals as an homage to Egyptian art, which was popularized by the travels of Napoleon around the time this family was developed. They say that if you simply lob the ends off of an Egyptian font, you end up with our final, utilitarian, very clean, easy-to-read family known as
Sans serif ligatures.
Now, considering that Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I'd like to explore a little-known anomaly of type known as the ligature. The ligature is created when two letters are very close to each other and they end up connecting. Or, well, I like to think of it as holding hands.
Oh, Frax, don't get weird on me.
I like to think of a friend asking the guy, "Do you like my friend?" And the friend going, "Yeah, I like her, sure." So, like or sure equals ligature, right? Okay, just go with it.
Okay, I got it.
Measurement.
The smallest unit of measurement in type is known as a point. A point is only 0.0138 inches tall. If you stack up 12 points, you get a pica, which is 1/6 of an inch tall. 6 picas altogether add up to 72 points, or 1 inch. So if you want to type with 1-inch letters, just set your height to 72 points.
So what have we learned today? 5 lines will make up every letter form you need. Anatomy can be memorized by thinking of body parts, everyday words, or objects. The stroke, stress, and weight of a typeface creates a unity, and therefore, a family. The ligature is the area where 2 letters connect, if you know what I mean. And finally, 72 points make up 6 picas, or 1 inch. Wow, that all seems so easy and clear to me now. Thanks, Frax.
You're welcome, JT.
And thanks, Skipper. And thank all 3 of you for guiding us through the anatomy of type. The end.